catching eyes. Yes, we already got something here on the board. It looks to me like members of SLR and ZB potentially preparing for an early on altercation at the school zone. Class is in, ladies and gentlemen, and Julio already readily equipped with that DBS CQC Annihilator. Now, I know it's a hot topic of debate as to whether or not that DBS buff should happen, but you know what? It's coming, and it's coming soon, so may as well get some good use out of it before then. And Julio, with that AK-47 DBS, finding himself entirely reliant upon close-quarter weaponry, he's probably going to be utilizing it early on here, right up against members of ZB. Holding position with that S-18. We got XCZ and Elegy holding the stair base here. It's going to be a battle of patience potentially here. Long, desperately in need of some meds, and it looks like he's going to get this opportunity to do so. Now, whether or not you feel that is a bit of hesitation error on the end of ZB, I don't know. I kind of think that they sort of played the smarter move in not giving any easy slivers of peace here to members of SLR. K-19 and the Golden Eagles off in the distance. Poppy Sour secures a knock and then a quick thirst to follow on 0312. And to add to it, they're sending some Black Mambas back to the lobby as well. Okay, well, the LG has ended. XCZ retaliating onto Julio with a phenomenal drop shot, but taking a huge load of damage. He is going to be out for a few moments to require some meds. Oh, Clint, I don't know if we did the... Did you... I don't think we ever sent the second stream. Oh my god. Here, I'm copying it, sending it to you right now. I think you're using the first stream key, and I don't think I ever sent the second one. My apologies. Here you go. Well, that's good, because that first lobby was a little bit of me BSing. All right. Here we are. Just a brief moment, ladies and gentlemen. Being contacted once more, and... And I just sent you the RT and P rather than the stream key. That's not it. Tell me if... Oh, I did send you the correct one. So let me hit edit. Yeah. Oh yeah. I don't know where that is exactly. Stream info, I'm guessing. YouTube Studio. That makes no sense as to why that's happening, dude. I have no idea. All right. Go live. What do I do? Is it under settings? Yeah. Channel. Where do I access the stream key, Clint? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Clint, can you hear me? Huh. Clint, I can't hear you if you're talking. Go live. Stream. Aha! Got it. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, our apologies for the couple technical setbacks. You can thank Red Eyes himself for the ditzy behavior, but we are here. We are kicking into the action of the Titan Premier Scrims. And we got 4 rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy getting into today, but we're already kicking things off here with an Erangel match, and we've got a close quarter confrontation on our hands. It's going to be Passion Fruit up against the likes of BE here. We got Kubi holding position, S12 Star L in outwards towards Zuko, and does go down to just above half health, but actually, you know, in the process, taking a little bit of retaliatory shots, but not really enough to intimidate him here. We've got SKC here alongside just holding position. Zuko, rather than using this opportunity to heal, he's going to suffer that dead zone damage as he advances upon the opponents here. But if you'll take notice of his position, ladies and gentlemen, he's got a nice little off angle, and it could catch the likes of Fong unawares. Jason looks like he's going to be out for the count here. He's already knocked and probably going to be sent right on back to the lobby, given the circumstances of it already being outside zone and just being too far away from the Passion Fruit boys to get much assistance. But we can see SKSC here trying to basically flood himself in a pool of smoke, give himself what little advantages he can. When geographical cover might not be afforded to you, those utilities are going to be crucial, though. So he's definitely potentially using up some in-game resources. Could be paying the price for it later. We'll see. Peekaboo of the Panthers not wasting any time and doing some early game work here on HH24 as we reach the concluding portions of Stage 2. Still plenty of action ahead for us in round 1, but take a look at that zone damage, ladies and gentlemen. It's already doing its thing and keeping that intimidation factor, that pressure on the shoulders of these dead zones. Valak with a 3x EP28, sending a message. You're going to try to get away, but you're not getting away any kind of easy. We're taking Fong with 1 moment. Oh my gosh, you're right. I'm sorry, dude. In stream, it's live right now on my end. Okay, all right. Sorry about that, guys. For a moment, I was just making sure that the stream was going to be being sent out here. We're just on a little bit of a delay, so it's a little making up for it to do. But off in the distance, Rosh of Excuse doing a number on Poppy Sour. Poppy Sour for, I believe, his second knock in just a few short moments, and this time sent back to the lobby. Well, Peekaboo using this opportunity to restock on resources here. He's already responsible for 2/3 of the team's kills early on. 1 moment, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, it's showing me that it is and sending out while I'm seeing a screenshot. And it says 4 conviewing viewers. All right, yeah, maybe just refresh. All right, sorry about that, guys. We're just making sure that the feed is in fact being sent out here. It's kind of tough to tell with the delay, but off in the distance, yep, it is gonna be the likes of Excuse up against the opposition in Bope Esports, and Bope already putting a number in, putting Rosh down to the ground, reacquainting him with that lovely Erangel grass, and then sending him right on back to a lovely PUBG Mobile lobby. Off in the distance, Fears has a little bit of fear instilled on himself. Okay, alrighty. Ladies and gentlemen, give me one just brief moment here. My apologies. Okay, we're just doing a couple brief testing things. Got to get this couple things with YouTube fixed out here. How do I even adjust the stream title? Probably from Studio, yeah. The stream cannot be accessed again from the message list. I don't know. Well, yeah, I am so new to messing with YouTube on its own here. Can you give me just a moment here? Content, YouTube Studio. because no one's going to be coming in for testing bit rate here. There we go. And let me get the thing you sent me about the turret. There we go. Almost done, buddy. Sorry about it. Okay. Tell me if it refreshed correctly. All right. All right, ladies and gentlemen. We got the wanted vigilantes Miner here, not too far off from the opposition in Extreme Slayers. I don't know if Extreme Slayers is giving too much of a hint of their awareness as to whether or not they know about the location of the Olympics crew here. Doesn't seem to be the case, and they're going to be prioritizing a rotation in the zone, and I really don't blame them here, especially considering that we have 34 people still on the playing field, dispersed across 12 teams. Lots of potential threats still remain here on the playing field. Mine are going to be pulling the dead zone edge rotation. I like it. He's in it for the long haul. We got some North Face sponsor potentials right here. Some dead zone campers. We got him holding out here. Inactive, going to work his way in as we speak. The Crow is going to be feasting upon the loot of a dead box. But not a whole lot on the board here. Keep in mind, though, Wild Musexus is reduced down to a two-piece. They lost Everett and Baton fairly early on and were reduced down to half their starting lineup of Crow and Inactive. Keep in mind, though, flip the script. The other end of that coin is that these two players are responsible for the entirety of the team's kill so far. Alrighty. Alright, so. Oh, I see what you're saying. We're gonna have I'm gonna get a map feed. I'll set that up for round 2. Alright. Okay, well. Getting that open on the other computer here, but just for a brief moment. While we have it. Oh, that's perfect. Yes, that is gonna give me so much more to work with there. Alright, Peekaboo. Going to be, looks like everybody in the Panthers utilizing an every man for himself tactic here as they all disperse with their own vehicle. Now that's going to come with a certain set of advantages and a certain set of disadvantages, as we know to be the case. The advantage is that, of course, they're not all going to be able to be taken out in one brief clip. Not one spray is going to be able to eliminate a team back to the lobby. But at the same time, the downside is, you know, if one of your teammates is focused on and they decide to attack them, the ability for the remainder of the team to help out, it's going to be a lot more tricky. You're not necessarily going to be able to give the assistance from that off angle that you're really hoping for. But here we have it. One Golden Eagle, Mr. Buffalo himself, has been taken down on the Great Plains of Erangel. And I think that's going to put the Golden Eagles down to either a two-piece. Let me have a look-see. I've just remembered now that thanks to AMG's amazing technology, I can actually get that info myself. But, speaking of which, Clint, it is not updating on my end there. Just not sure. All right. Okay. Well, we got Passion Fruit pretty close to Olympics. Now, this is somewhat of a concern here, but at the same time, these two teams have lingered pretty close for some time, but it is going to culminate right here and now. Juancho swallowing a couple bullets there, reduced down to half health, but boy, revenge dished out pretty quick as Fetty is feeling the same pressure from the likes of Valak from the northeast hilltop. Valak utilizing what cover he can and thanking his lucky stars, surviving that attack by the hair on his chin, reduced down to 1% health. But as we quote in the scripture of Vin Diesel, ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't matter whether you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning. And if you're not knocking Valak down, then it's like it never happened at all. TP, the Panthers, doing some work on Extreme Slayers as Hayuya is taken down and quickly sent back to lobby. And it looks like the remainder of Passion Fruit, just Valak and Juancho at this point, Zuko and Dark have been eliminated fairly early on. They're going to be weighing their options, deciding, prioritizing what's most important, and saying, you know what, we can handle these fights later on. For now, let's go ahead and ensure that we at least secure the placement points and survive till the end game. And that brings me to a great point, ladies and gentlemen. You know, with the updated scoring structure in official events, as we move into the future of PUBG Mobile esports, it's gonna be a lot more confrontation focused. So while that is going to be the case, placement still has its purpose. Robert GG of the Extreme Slayers with a bold attack on numerous members in the Panthers, just engaging in a 1v3 and suffering the consequences of it almost immediately as a retaliatory nade swallows him whole, and Baby Bray survives just a few more moments longer before being sent back to lobby to discuss things with him. And that's going to bring the Panthers right on up to a very healthy 7 kills. And keep in mind, they've only lost 1 player in the process so far. And you cannot place enough emphasis on having a majority of your team still up come in-game. It can be the absolute difference maker between life and death. It can be the absolute deciding factor of who's going to taste that chicken on the tip of their tongue. Using this opportunity, we got QQ dispersing a little further away from the team. And you know what I like about this? Given the fact that, no time to discuss that right now, as we've got members of, it looks YJG up against members of Mezexis, and Inactive not giving them the benefit of that doubt as he secures his 4th takedown and going to quickly try to bring that crow back to life, nursing a crow back to health. And looks like Mezexis is going to carry on as a full 2-piece here. I say that a full 2-piece. Let's just call that a 2-piece for the sake of irony there. And Olympics and, yeah, it's still going to be Olympics and Passion Fruit here. So I'm not that concerned about this because these two teams have been in such close proximity to one another for quite some time. However, the high holding ground Olympic has. And yep, you can see that right there. Just raining a thunderstorm onslaught of bullets onto Inactive. It looks like all the damage that was done was dished out to his vehicle, though, as Inactive was fairly low on health when he began that rotation. But to add a little bit more complication to the equation here, we got the likes of Olympia joining the party, literally turning members of Mezexis into the deli meat in that peanut butter and trouble sandwich between them and Passion Fruit. And it looks like we might even have some Panthers potentially closing in. They hear the shots in the distance, might smell the blood in the water and come in. Miner is going to be securing that takedown and getting his 2nd kill along with the team's 2nd as well, but with very little time to heal up before he's thrown out of the frying pan into the fire, all too literally. Molly rains down through the window. Luckily, no damage dealt to Miner. But he does find himself in a potential 2v2 scenario, and I think he is Jesus right here and now as he's getting some third-party assistance, unintentional as I know it may be from Mezexis. It is still helping him out. Onto a Passion Fruit with some spray and pray shots through the smoke, just blind rage, and Juancho does it beautifully. Barely surviving. He's got about 10% of his health, but boy, oh boy, does he do it in shining colors, bringing himself up to 3 kills, responsible for half of the team's 6. Well, there's still 1 crow remaining in the nest, ladies and gentlemen, and he is swimming in a 2-piece of wanted vigilantes right on by. Actually, looks like it might even be a 2-1 split, but oh, as I caster cursed him, that boy was doomed from the moment I brought his name up, and he is sent right on back to lobby in 6th place. But at least he's going to be getting a little bit of those placement points. It's not all for nothing. Now, keep in mind, though, while we got the wanted vigilantes here playing a little bit of a slow play, they are still a full 4-piece team, ladies and gentlemen. What did I say earlier? That full 4-piece can be the absolute difference maker in life and death. And right now, we got members of wanted vigilantes just utilizing the geography. They're going to let these numbers whittle, let these two teams duke it out, and maybe even attack with a weakened third party, come and pick off the remains like vultures on a weakened, it looks like a weakened Black Mamba or even a weakened Panthers. However, speaking of, okay, we got SPIX takes it right on down. Ooh, one of his teammates joined. They are now a two-piece, dealing with a full wanted vigilantes along with members of the Panthers on the other side. And boy, an unintentional tag team as though it may be. Olympia and the Panthers basically just onslaughting the deli meat sandwich there, and now deciding to focus in on each other in a 2v3 hilltop scenario. Yep. The Panthers versus one of Vigilantes. It's going to be, it's going to be a 3v4 to end round one. Wow. Let's just give credit where credit is due. 15 kills on the board for the Panthers. This is a different Panthers team than I'm used to seeing. Boy, oh boy, they aren't just capable of their close quarter confrontations. They're actively out there searching for the action. They are looking for the smoke, and they want that blood. And here we see QQ7 turning XRY into a bowling pin as he gets the strike right there and then. That's going to be 10 points. And boy, a utility taking IXY, I believe, right on out. So we are left here with a 3v3, what would appear to be a fair fight to end this, but yet Fishy is knocked. However, Ye is also knocked, so it's going to be a 2v2. Any revives at this point, I'm going to attribute to a mistake on the opposition's end. There should not be any opportunity to revive a teammate here at this stage. And it's a battle of grenades, both teams making it rain hellfire. Illusion swallowing some of the damage there as he prepares and cooks up a nade, Martha Stewart style, for QQ17 and Trick. I like this. Kovu, the outlier, holding this off angle, letting Illusion take all the focus here. Now, as a two-piece, this is going to be a risky tactic to pull off. Usually you see it more in a 2-1 or a 3-1 split, but a 1-1 split, it's going to be interesting to see if Illusion really can take all the focus fire here. And Kovu, if he's able to catch that off angle on him, it could mean the end of the game. However, let's just take a look at how Trick is playing the geography from the lowland of the hill, utilizing what cover he can. I don't think he's giving him that easy opportunity. He says, you know what, if you want the fight, you're going to have to come get us. And look at this snake in the grass here. While the Black Mambas are sent back to lobby, we still have another snake in the grass in the form of Execute's Trick. Kovu enshrouding himself in what utility cover he can here. And let's just take notice of the vehicles here. When compound cover and geographical cover can come few and far between, and when your smoke count is looking pretty dim, that's when those vehicles can be your saving grace in an in-game zone. Boy, we got the Panthers trying to sniff Trick out here, doing some carefully precisioned nade drops that are not quite hitting the mark, utilizing some of their last resources here, trying to make them count. But, ooh, Trick does make his location known here, but it was worthwhile for him. He was able to take Kovu out in that quick spray, and now it's a 2v1, and this is the execute I expected from here. Just wasting no time. As soon as the advantage is in their favor, they play the bully in that poker stack, and beautifully by execute as they secure it. Oh, pardon me. Beautiful execution by the Panthers. My apologies. And rookie mistakes, they happen. But I saw that it had Execute's Trick on the team. So give me a saving grace. Repeat that, production? Okay. All right. Well, the Panthers are the predators that they are. Just thirsty for the blood, and they have blood and the taste of chicken on the tip of their tongue as they take that gold medal first place finish with 19 kills, eliminating almost 25% of the playing field. Great performance. The one of Vigilantes ain't nothing wrong with silver as they take that second place finish home with 6 kills. Alrighty, and the Black Mamas snake their way into that bronze medal third place finish with 4 kills, 3 of which are responsible to SPIX. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's just one round down. We still have 3 more rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way for the Titan Series premiere Scrims in just a few short moments. Stick around. We'll be back soon. All righty, ladies and gentlemen. Well, well, well. What an absolute intense first match that we had on our hands there for round one. But we still have 3 more rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy coming your way. Clint, my buddy, I do not see the scores. I'm going to pull it up from my screenshot that you sent. So while we do have a brief few moments before getting into round two, let's just give credit to where credit is due. The Panthers out on the full hunt, able to put in 29 points. That is a heavy backpack, ladies and gentlemen. And boy, oh boy, I believe if I'm zooming in correctly here on mine, yeah, 19 elims on the board. Absolute bloodbath warfare, full on aggression. That tells me one thing and one thing only. They are actively searching for the confrontation. One of Vigilantes holding second place currently, only 2 points ahead of the Passion Fruit crew. So it is going to be a pretty close match from the second place all the way down to fifth, which is held by Mezexis, 1 point behind Black Mamba, who holds 9. But from there, that's when things get a little bit more neck and neck, as Olympia Esports is literally dead on tied from 6th to 8th place. The BE holders, all of them, only 4 points on the board. It is a lot of ground to make up for as we move in to round two. Speaking of round two, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be kicking it off in just a few short moments with Sandhawk. And what do we need to say about a map like Sandhawk, ladies and gentlemen? Well, it's going to be the smallest map that we're going to be working with today, obviously. Tell me when you're ready to start, by the way. It's going to be the first map that we're, or second map that we're kicking things off with here, but smallest map that we're working with. And that is going to be pretty important because it means that it's not just that it's small, but it's also the most condensed map. So it's going to be the most lush in vegetation. So there's going to be a higher odds for early game confrontation. But on top of that, there is the looming threat of you can have enemies right by you and have absolutely no awareness because geographical cover is absolutely abundant in full form on Sandhawk more than any other map. So yeah, you gotta be watching where you step because there are snakes in the grass, as we know to be the nature of a Sandhawk map. But I am curious, with this new scoring structure and placement getting less emphasis, are we going to be seeing the infamous heal strat utilized by these pros? Well, yet to be seen. I certainly hope not. But, as I said in round one, while placement is getting less emphasis, it is not without purpose. I mean, we can still see, even in the highest tier events, that you're going to be getting a lot of that. But the map, ladies and gentlemen, this is a great point to bring up. It is not a centralized path by any means, but I still am going to argue that it's not that consequential just due to the small size of Sandhawk. By that, I mean that the map is so small, you can get pretty much anywhere you want just by deploying your chute early enough. So the fact that I'm seeing a Western-oriented path, it's not really going to play that much of an effect on people's drop options. They can still reach the edge of Mong Nai, just got to deploy that chute a little bit earlier. We got the Panthers going to secure Kampong, and it doesn't look like they're going to have any immediate competition there for that city, but they are going to have to deal with the looming spread out threat of Black Mamba. Now, those are the snakes in the grass here, and if snakes are going to thrive anywhere, it's going to be the jungle of Sandhawk. Off to our north, you can also see some action, but no time to waste. Ladies and gentlemen, we got the action going on right now as Execute and SLR, Super Lazy Reflex, go neck and neck at Big Bad Booty Camp. We got Dawn working his way across with a Vector, no extended mag in hand. Swallowing bullets instead. And just like that, suffering a rough fate on the other. Coming in at 1/3 of his overall health, but follows the grenade hole and just knocked right out of the equation, leaving everything reliant on white LG and la. All right, well, getting eyes on Execute. Do you believe in ghosts, ladies and gentlemen? Because I do. And Casper is back in full form. Him and Claus are all that remains at this point, as Telly and Fate have been eliminated early on. And off in the distance, we got the Golden Eagles and K19 squaring off as well. Remember what I said? This map is the one to expect the highest odds, highest probability of that early game confrontation. We got Casper cooking up a grenade for White Elegy here, while Claus uses this necessary time to try to heal up at the very least. Elegy holding the window, but oh, you very rarely see those stun grenades being used in any other when they do. Oh my goodness, in full form, Claus uses add the insult to injury. The bullets on the crate send a message to the playing field and say, hey, go back to lobby and wait for us. All right, Everest saying that he is only mountain here, and that is going to be irony in terms of dad jokes because he's up against Olympia Esports. Now that's Mount Olympus up against Everest. Yeah, my production team is they're giving me the kudos for my dad jokes, and I hope my viewers are cringing, because I'm growing a whole corn farm right now. We got, speaking of them, they've got, wow, Baton just wrecks into Yusul, who I gotta say, Yusul, pardon me, kind of put himself out there on a sacrificial platter, almost. Hey, production, my feed is coming through awfully choppy on my end. I'm not really sure if that's on my end or not. I see the other feed. Okay, thank you. All right, but we still have Miner and Fetty remaining, half the starting lineup for the Olympias. But that's going to lead to beg the question, do they take on this fight with Mizexis, utilizing that high ground Overwatch position, or do they just, kind of weigh their options in terms of being outnumbered, outmanned, and outgunned? Well, it looks like Fetty is engaged from that Overwatch, and consequences almost immediately as Inactive secures the off angle and catches him unawares. Fetty sent right on back to lobby via that QBZ. Well, I like this spread that Mizexis is doing here, this 2-1, 3-1 split here. Inactive still holding an off angle, really putting Miner up against the wall, and boy, sent right on back to lobby to join his teammate just moments after. Well, all that noise and commotion could have put a smoke signal out in the distance for BE. And yes, it does. Cloudy wrecking into Everest, where the mountain meets the clouds. It's going to be some confrontation. And there it is. All righty. Looks like, just a brief moment, catching eyes. Yep, we got Jason here. Kubi, Cloudy, and Fongs remaining. Full 4-piece up against 3-piece up against Inactive. Being the focal point of this spray, but not really taking any significant damage. And as I say that, he shot down to the red, so he has suffered about 25% health loss. Not really enough to change up too much or make him dial back. So I think he's just as formidable a threat as he was moments ago. Scoping in on a situation, though, where he's got no real line of sight. Going to further exemplify how tricky Sandhawk can be, ladies and gentlemen. Even in terms of spectating from an aerial view, it's the geographical cover afforded to these participants is so abundant that it's going to be hard for him from this distance to actually get that line of sight on the opponent. Well, Cloudy aiming back right at him and suffering the same complication, not really able to get that line of sight through the vegetation. And so they're going to weigh their options about. But you know who's not? He knows that Eagles are in danger, but he's trying to make them go extinct as he's up against 0312, who's going to turn him into a burning bush. Potentially, Bobby Sauer dodges the molly or just doesn't hit him. But the bullets do. Sitting at 25% health. He's still coming in, guns ablaze, ladies and gentlemen. 3/4 health, but oh, it was so close to almost pulling it off. 0312 is taking a deep exhale right here and having a brief word with his fallen comrade here. He says, hey, good effort nonetheless. HH24 going after another Eagle, but, I guess Buffaloes are not endangered, ladies and gentlemen. And now it's down to Tukey and HH24 for K19 as they take on this kind of a spread fight here between the Golden Eagles. We got HH24 working his way, swallowing that blue zone damage. And that is going to be a tough pill to swallow if he is limited in any sort in terms of resources. We got 3 first aids in the hand of Bang, Bang here filling in from Ultimate Gaming for the Golden Eagles, and pretty readily equipped for the dead zone hang, at least considering that it's only stage 1. So yeah, it's not going to be your biggest enemy yet. But ladies and gentlemen, I say this every event. Nobody has a higher KD than that blue zone. So as this match progresses and we reach later stage zones, that blue zone is going to become less and less forgiving. And I hope that our participants know well enough not to be lingering out and zone camping here come in game. Well, this is an opportunity for the Golden Eagles to do a nice little spread out and fan out on the remainder of K19. However, K19 has a little bit of the same idea as HH24 holds this back angle against Bang. And from where Bang is peeking, I'm not so sure that he knows of HH24's location. And he's probably definitely not aware of Tuki's rotation, securing this off-angle high ground and overwatch. Now, Bang holding on to the compound as he is, that's only going to be helping him out for just a few more moments. He's going to have to weigh the options. The dead zone is going to become less and less forgiving, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, with that M4 spray glacier, even though it's a hot jungle, that cold glacier crate is going to be sending them right on back to lobby. But they still have a ways to travel into zone, and they're going to have to deal with a potential gatekeep threat from the likes of Bope Esports when they do. So they need to be ready for anything to come. We got Cloudy here holding a bit of a ledge position, not really bringing too much attention to himself, kind of laying low, but you know who has caught wind is YKG from across the riverway, firing outwards and keeping the pressure on him, but not a lot of connections yet. It looks like this is going to be a potential conundrum here for the likes of YKG. If they do indeed need to cross that waterway, they're going to have to do so in open territory, being kind of a vulnerable Michael Phelps to the likes and looming threat of BE, who I don't blame him for holding that position, in fact. We got members of Extreme Slayers, now a 4-piece still, up against another 4-piece in members of ZB. But off in the distance, there's no excuse for team excuses. Rosh is taken down and potentially thirsted to follow. I could not see there, but it does look like revenge has been dished out as Draco avenges his fallen teammate, sending Skur back to lobby. Well, Rosh is still up and about, though. Just not quite able... Oh, yeah, he's up and about. Yep, so we're still going to continue on as a 3-piece, but keep in mind, we started off as a 3-piece. Draco swallowing the bullets, trying to dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge, but you can only do so much, leaving it reliant upon Rosh and Kai. Catching wind on ZB up against the Extreme Slayers. I like this here. Hammerboy holding the off angle and using that wall here to try to get some little surprise shots there, and it does look like it's going to work there, especially on Robert Boy. Robert Boy is out of there. Well, ZB going to carry on now, but are they accounting for Hayuya catching that off angle? Because no doubt they know about Baby Brave, but do they know about Hayuya's looming in from the back? I don't think so. Boom! That was his shot right there. The element of surprise is out the window. He's dished out the damage, but not able to secure the knock. And off in the distance, HH24 working on the Golden Eagles as well. Hayuya creeping on in. It's going to be a 2v3 altercation if they're not able to get Ka up. And this is going to be interesting also, because if Ka is able to get revived, and it looks like he is, I'm going to boil that down to nothing but hesitation on ZB's end. Now, I'd like to know in chat, what do y'all think? Do y'all think that was the right move to kind of hang back and try to heal up, med up, get back to full health, and reload? Or do you think they should have advanced upon the opponent? Let me know in chat. Well, I do believe in Ghost, and Casper the friendly Ghost proving not so friendly as he gets the takedown there and then. YKG now reduced down to 2 members here as Danny and Fears are knocked, but Fears hopefully being revived here at the likes of his teammate Chico, so bringing him back up to a 3-piece, and potentially the same for Danny. this is a good example of just how tricky Sandhawk can be, ladies and gentlemen. Even when you are able to secure those knocks, very often that knock automatically goes out of the line of sight if they're on that hill edge or on the cliff edge. Anything can happen here in Sandhawk. So yeah, you got to be able to account for that geography. And if, oh my gosh, Boy swallows cause made whole, and boy, that is going to be a tough one, leaving everything reliant upon Baby Bray alone. Pardon me, everything reliant upon Cray alone. My apologies, ladies and gentlemen. And Cray trying his best to hold his own with that off angle, but already shot down to a quarter of his health here, even less. 20% health. Boy, he makes his final stand not so pathetic there. That nade sending somebody right on down to join him here. Can he hold it? Nope, that bush is burning bright. That candle has flickered out, and he is sent back to lobby. Ladies and gentlemen, Passion Fruit playing the slow play here as a... Yep, we got a third party on our hands, and it's going to be Wancho, Zuko, Valak, and Dark24K here. They smell the blood in the water, and Sharks coming in for a weakened Prey. Can they pull this off before Extreme Slayers can heal? Baby Bray just now revived, and he's able to heal up, but no doubt probably still unawares of the 4-piece. I don't think I gave Baby Bray enough credit right there. The way he's actually playing it makes me feel like he is already aware of Passion Fruit. They're holding the back wall, and that's smart for several reasons, because the waterway is generally not a space that they have to worry about. They don't need to account for their backside by doing this, and they have the whole wall in front of them to secure their front side. So this is a pretty good angle to hold here if you are a 2-piece up against a full team gatekeeping. Now, Hayuya and Bray are going to play the patience game here, and they don't want to give any of these easy open opportunities for Passion Fruit, but at the same time, the clock is ticking, ladies and gentlemen. We are into stage 4 already, and as I was saying, that zone is going to become less and less forgiving. Passion Fruit right now weighed the option, says, you know what, we can take our altercations later on. Let's get position in zone. All right. Well, speaking of the jungle, we got the snakes in the grass. 2 snakes left. It's going to be Bishop and Papi Triste here, and they might even have to worry about Passion Fruit as a looming potential threat as well. But for now, we got Bishop a little ways away from Papi Triste, utilizing these 4 walls of cover here. My issue with those is those shacks tend to be a false sense of security where literally you don't even have to aim it. You just got to know they're in there. Throw a nade in, and it's fish in a barrel. But the fruit has fallen from the tree, ladies and gentlemen. Juancho, Zuko are approaching the Lumen threat in YKG. And YKG, still a full 4-piece, little bit of a slow play here, and you can tell 2 kills to their name. It's not necessarily the gameplay we're used to seeing from them. They're usually a very kill intensive, so it looks like they're exercising a little bit more patience doing the slow haul today. All right, well, Olympia has fallen, ladies and gentlemen, as... Oh, I'm proud of that. XRYY is knocked down, leaving it reliant upon the last fish in the water, but Fishy has floated on up to the surface, belly up. Mizexis now focusing in on the likes of Execute, but look at this. Claus, a Mizexis clanmate, preparing a nade against his own clan. Inactive versus Claus, nade battle. Neither really hitting the mark, but Inactive needing to use this time to heal up, doing so. And this is a great point, ladies and gentlemen. Remember what I said. You can be very close to the opposition without that line of sight on Sandhawk. There can be so many things intruding on your line of sight of the opponent that you could have someone 10 meters away and not even be aware. Well, Baton just ever patiently waiting, but boy, patience is going to be wearing thin as his only remaining teammate, Inactive, is going to have to live up to that name. He is going to be currently inactive as he is knocked and served without purpose here. So it's going to be reliant on a solo at this point. We got a 2v1. Execute versus Mizexis. It looks like Baton going to try to weigh his options. He does have one thing going for him, in that he has a little riverway dividing him. And this could be an opportunity for him to get out, dip out, and try to secure some placement. Doesn't look to be the in-game goal here for him. He's going to go for it. Well, K19 is out of there. Tukey is sent right on back to lobby. Getting eyes on what remains of Team Excuse. It's going to be Draco and Kai, just 2 members. But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, they only started off as a 3-piece. And those 2 members left are responsible for the entirety of the team's 6 kills. So you can't really rule them out just yet. YKG working their way down from the hill and using passion fruit smokes against them. Now, this is a clever play here. And about utility smokes this is a great point. Their counter productivity here. Passion fruit did this simply so they could work their way into getting that compound cover, or getting their positioning without being spotted by the high ground holders in YKG. But in doing so, they made it so YKG on them without even using a single one of their resources. And here, case in point, Chico annihilating Zuko because of it. Boy, that just comes down to synergy and experience. With these tier 1 professional teams, there is no hesitation, especially not up against a team like YKG. Case in point, Dark 24K is out of there at the hands of Chico and wasting no time focusing in on the next victim. Could be Hayuya of Extreme Slayers. Hayuya putting up one heck of a solo performance, though. He was one of the last members of the team fairly early on and still managing to put up 8 kills so far. Chico wasting no time, sending another Mizexis member back to lobby. This time, Claus, who's just filling in for Execute. I think he's got a little personal vendetta against Mizexis. Speaking of which, getting eyes on the final Mizexis team member, we got Baton holding his own in that building, playing the waiting game. Hayuya as a solo catching the off angle on YKG. He's got one chance if he is going to do this. The only way that's going to work is by utilizing the surprise factor. He's going to have to take one of them down with him before he is spotted. After that, it's going to be up to trading bullets with the other member of Extreme Slayers. There's not going to be a way for him to get both these guys out in one go. Pardon, both members of YKG. What are words? Well, we got a utility outward, not hitting the mark or dealing a lick of damage, and YKG does not fear any damage. Quickly running up the hill at every disadvantage, still able to wreck into him as Danny just is relentless with that double barrel DBS close quarter annihilator. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we are now down to 2 teams remaining. We got ourselves a 1v3. Give credit to where credit is due. Baton, the final hope for me, on all the way to in-game and distance. Even the odds. Fears is down. We got a 1v. Pardon me. What I said about even the odds. We got ourselves a 1v2 on our hands, and caster curse is all too real, ladies and gentlemen. As soon as I give any acknowledgement to that, it is undone. Red eyes. All right. Well, we got our scores in for this. YKG taking that gold medal first place finish with 7 kills to their name. 5 of those 7 going to Chico alone. Chico just on an all-out onslaught, bloodbath warfare mission in round 2 here. He was just annihilating members of Mizexis left and right, whether they were on the Mizexis team or not. Quickly focusing in on the Claws and taking him off the Execute team anyway. Speaking of Mizexis, silver medal, second place finish to Mizexis team as they take it with 6 kills, half of which go to Baton himself. We got the Extreme Slayers living up to their name as Hayuya takes 6 of the team 8 kills, and they secure that bronze medal third place finish. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we still have 2 more rounds of action, mayhem, and strategy ahead of us. Who wants that chicken dinner the most? Who wants to send a message to the rest of the playing field? Remember, these are the teams that this league is going to be going up against on a repetitive basis. So there's definitely an intimidation factor that they'll have 2 more rounds ahead of us. Coming back in just a few short moments for round 3 of the Titan Series Premier Scrims. Stick around. We'll be back soon. All righty, ladies and gents, we are back. We are back. We are back. We have just gotten halfway through the Titan Series Premier Scrims for the day, but we still have 2 more rounds ahead of us. But first and foremost, let's go into the overall scores as they currently stand. So, on the playing field, we got the Panthers holding that first place spot here, 11 points ahead of the second place holders in Mezexis, with 31 points to Mezexis' 20. Coming in third, well, the crown is not on the king today. The crown's in third place. We got YKG trailing only 1 point behind at the heels of Mezexis with 19 points. This is going to be getting real interesting from fourth to eighth, because literally all that separates these fourth place position from eighth place is 2 points. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Execute and Extreme Slayers and Black Mamba all tied at 15 points. Wanted Vigilantes and Passion Fruit tied at 7th and 8th with 13 points. It is going to be neck and neck. Every point, every moment, every knock counts from this point on. And boy, oh boy, they're going to have to keep changing their strategies here, because we are on a new geographic map. Different maps mean different strategies need to be implemented. And this one is probably going to be the most crucial. Why? Because Vikendi, it's going to be a Vikendi. And this is the kind of the least experienced map for most of the people in the PUBG Mobile comp scene. Vikendi just kind of working its way back into the esports within this relatively past 6 months. And so it's going to be a little bit less experience on it, but it's going to be important and crucial, because Vikendi is the snow map. Meaning what, ladies and gentlemen? Meaning that your tire tracks and footsteps can be tracked. So you're going to have to be aware of not just what you're doing, but the paper trail you're leaving behind you, and keep an eye on your backside as well. Another problem with it being that snow map is that these outfits generally are going to pop out like a sore thumb. Now, unless you've got that disco ball full body outfit from season 1, it's going to be a tough one. A lot of these case and points are going to be showing themselves here as we reach towards that mid game. But once we get towards I'd say about a mid game towards in-game zone, and it's slim pickings, that's when people are going to be sticking out like spotlights in the air. But getting eyes on the likes of K19, we got Trip luckily already finding himself a DBS. Now, if you are landing with an enemy, there is no better weapon to have than that DBS if you're in CQC territory. Bope Esports, yep, we got Nicro here aiming outwards with a Tommy gun towards Olympia, not dishing out a damage, but damage is dealt to his teammate as one of his members is taken down and out for the count. So we got a potential 3v4 on our hands with that 3-1 off split. Illusion holding position here on the corner, while YXRYY holding there with that PP19 at the bottom of the staircase. This could be problematic here, as Nicro already has a nade cooking. Well, that's a nade wasted here. And coming in, even holding that high ground, just wrecked into as the DBS does what the DBS does. Illusion, however, with one of his own coming in. Skur holding the ground as the final hope here for Bope Esports, with nothing but a Tommy gun G36 combo in hand. Ooh, beautiful jump shot, dealing out a massive load of damage, almost able to get a second one, but no, it is all for naught. And I'm going to withdraw that statement. He did not take down RYY, just got him down to 10%. But one of Vigilantes, just like that, securing their first 4 kills. No time to waste, getting eyes on the boys in BE. Still a full 4-piece here, just trying to get properly looted, get properly equipped, as is the early game telltale. But we got a reasonable spread on the map. The only thing to really keep a close eye out on right now would have to be either like the north portion of the zone between members of Olympia and their opponents in the Panthers, and also southbound at Volnova. You've got a potential altercation brewing between Execute and members of XQS, but there is distance between both teams for the time being. So let's harken back to what I said in round 1, ladies and gentlemen. large maps, this is just part of the nature of the game. You're going to have your moments of downtime, bits of pockets and silence and in between time, but it's all going to be worth the trade because that early passive game, early game, it's going to mean an action packed, climactic mid or end game. And I love a good in game finish. Well, Peekaboo doing some top notch hide and seek. He's not doing any peeking or booing, just holding ground here with a DBS, just surveying the scene, seeing what resources he can scoop up while they have the time to themselves. But they are getting encroached upon. Their personal bubble is about to get popped by none other than Olympia Esports if they're not too careful. All right. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just a quick message to the production team. And now we have it here. It does look like, I think if I'm having a little bit of a choppy feed here, but I believe that was Minor up front of Olympia, closest to the looming threat in the Panthers. But as you can see, Panthers still not that eager for it. Well, I might have just choked on my words right there, as 99 is doing exactly the opposite of what I said. He is going to secure the takedown with that DBS, the caster curse. If you didn't believe before, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you do now. But look at this. He's got a great opportunity here because even though he is a bit away from his team, he has such a great high ground. So if he hears his opponents in Olympia, he might be able to utilize it. Well, that deed is undone. He does not use that overwatch position at all. Hopefully his teammate will, and it looks to be the case. Fetty, very low on health, but not down for the count, so still a full 4-piece of Olympia. This is going to be interesting. The Panthers, once again, splitting up, and I say this time and time again, but there is a strategy that I don't know what the official term is. I coined it the BOA method, but it's a 2-2, 3-1, or a 1-1-1-1 split around the opponent where you simultaneously constrict, and there's maybe 2 to 3 tier 1 teams in NA that can do it beautifully, and boy, oh boy, the Panthers are one of them. Case in point. Oh, but 99 is downed as well. Trick retaliates from the low ground, taking Minor right on down there. So they are going to use this opportunity for an advanced push, an aggressive push upon the opponent. Boy, Olympia down to 2 members at this point. Can they stick any revives? Fetty holding the cover fire position here with the DBS. But, oh, that's the downside of that DBS, ladies and gentlemen. You got to make that shot count. And, usually you're in CQC close enough where that's not going to be a problem. But from that distance, boy, there's no time to miss anything. Well, Trick goes and wrecks into Minor, sending him right on back to the lobby there and then. And that's going to be bringing the boys and Execute up to a nice healthy number of kills on the board so far, carrying on as a full 4-piece. Now, this could be interesting. I don't know if Trick actually has a line of sight on Jay Wick here or not, but it seems to be that he's got some hint of his whereabouts. Otherwise, I can't see a reason for him to linger in the dead zone. Yeah, this is the Panthers doing exactly what I was talking about earlier, ladies and gentlemen. That BOA method in full effect as QQ positions himself in this off angle in this 3-1 split. And this is going to be a great opportunity for the 3-person group here to take the focus. But no need. Peekaboo's right there and then. And that 99's little off angle isn't going to need to be used after all. But if a few more moments had passed, I guarantee you 99 would have been definitely adding a surprise factor onto the enemy. SLR, Super Lazy Reflex, a team that needs no introduction, up against another famously renowned heavy hitter team in YKG. But take a look, ladies and gentlemen, YKG fairly spread out here. It's just a little bit of a difference in strategy here. We got SLR pulling the solid unified positioning where YKG, the all-out confidence momentum team, loves to spread out and play aggressive individually, and they do so beautifully. So I don't blame them. Generally not advisable for a lot of the playing fields, but if you are a team like YKG or In Hyper, yeah, you there's a lot to back up that confidence. Well, we've got, I believe that was Extreme Slayers I saw on the kill feed getting a takedown on a member of Passion Fruit. Dauntless Skipper coming in, filling in for YKG, and they are going to quickly encroach upon the likes of SLR's personal space here. And now YKG is that solid unified team that I was uh, claiming they weren't just a few moments earlier. Look at them now. Everyone's got everyone's backs. Everyone's DBS'd out, and Elegy is out of there. All right. Well, Revenge trying to be dished out as SLR reduced down to a two-piece at this point. We got Lala cooking up a utility, going to try to make it rain a little bit of hellfire here upon YKG. And boy, he could use an easy knock right here and now. Something to even the odds. Danny trying to do a little bit of the same. All right, not any of it hitting any marks so far. And as I say that, I am choking on my words. It looks like Lala has been knocked. I did not see in the kill feed if that was from the utility or from a potential third party from the likes of Passion Fruit. But boy, oh boy, if there is ever a team to worry about on the third party, it's the boys in Passion Fruit. Those guys love to come pick off on the remaining scraps after an altercation. And I wouldn't be surprised to see it done here and now, too. Fears from the second story, cooking up a utility, thoroughly cooking it. And that bush is burning. That bush is going to be XZZ, and the candle has flickered out. He is sent right on back to lobby, and it looks like that might be it for SLR. Well, YKG going to carry on as a three-piece, but it is a heavy hit, no less, as they lost Chico, one of their top performers too, and he is responsible for half of the team's kills so far. The Panthers on the hunt, wasting no time as QQ once again trying to catch an off angle on the likes of K19 this time. HH24 utilizing this opportunity to med on up and prepare for the fight to come. And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, that is a member of Execute being downed, and Revenge is dished out as K19 suffers a hit as well. HH24 swallowing those shotgun pellets from a DBS. We got Baby Bray of Extreme Slayers like sharks in the water. We got them coming in, smelling the blood, and ready to try to pick off the remains here of the Panthers. And, it is not going to happen as a UMP meets Baby Bray head on. Hyuya suffering another similar fate, leaving it all down to one member. Pardon me, two members. Well, I can't even see how many people are alive at this point in the resolution. Oh, two members are up. Robert GG firing away with that UMP 45, wrecking into Okay, thank you, buddy. Sorry, guys, we're having a little bit of feed issues on my end, so I'm having trouble reading names here. But Robert GG with what I'm assuming was that UMP 45, given the color, must be that first anniversary UMP, swarming upon the opposition. And just now, looks like it was just getting better just a second ago. It looks like they were able to seal the deal and finish the job, even as a two-piece. We got Extreme Slayers carrying on with a lot of kills on the field, getting eyes once again on the likes of wanted vigilantes. We got Illusion cooking up some utilities aimed outwards at the BE crew. And he's just above half health himself here. And, as he does have the meds and resources, makes you wonder, is this one of the situations where he should prioritize looting or healing? Because they are swimming in a pool of BE opponents as Kubi holds that off angle, probably going to be the focal point for BE, giving a real opportunity here for Joss here to catch him unawares. The only thing really going in favor for WV right now is that they do have those four walls kind of blocking their exact whereabouts, but yeah, no shortage of utilities on BE's end, keeping the pressure looming for WV, and Jason coming in already SMG in hand. But the surprise factor is thrown out the window as he pre-fires, but not a single bullet hitting the mark. Cooking up some nades here for XRYY. Oh, This is one thing I love about this top tier gameplay is Olympia, when smokes are thrown at them, if you're lesser experienced, you're gonna assume it's a grenade and jump out the window in a panic. But boy, they did not hesitate. They could quickly take a look. There's the DBS in full form, guys. Fate swallowing a UMP, but closer at hand, we have Jason up against a DBS, pre-nerf DBS, and that's what happens. Kubi, DBS in hand of his own. One shot for the knock, one shot for the thirst. Ladies and gentlemen, what are your thoughts on the DBS? What are your feelings about the nerf? Should it be nerfed? Should it be made a crate gun again? Should it be going back to the way it was, or should they keep it the same? Let me know in chat. XRYY holding that UMP 45 in hand, and talk about a CQC. Oh, well, that is a caster curse in full form. Yeah, it's going to be a third party, actually. Yes, it is. Extreme Slayers with blood on the mind. We got Ka coming in, UMP of his own, and holding off the looming threat of BE at bay. This is actually an unintentional assistance to Olympia, giving them the opportunity to secure that revive and bringing them back up to a two-piece. And so now we've got a 2v2v2 on our hands until Robert can join the party. All right. This is going to be the house where death was built at right here. Robert coming in, just awaiting the confrontation, finds his mark. BE is down for there. Now it's going to be on James, the final hope for the team to retaliate. Nade in hand. He actually nades his teammate, sending Kubi back to lobby. There is going to be a criticism, maybe a little couple words spoken, maybe a pep talk here in between matches for sure after that one. Yeah, there's definitely going to be some words. Well, anyways, we got, I believe it says Kuvu there. The letters aren't quite rendering in here. That's 4 letters. That's KA. It's got to be coming in. UMP in hand. This is going to be an interesting little thing to note here, ladies and gentlemen. We got Olympia in a 2-2 altercation, holding this high ground. They've got the cover that they need, but you've got an impatient two-piece right beneath you. And if they've got a utility, it's going to probably be the undoing of one of Vigilantes here. All they need is one person pushing up while the other throws the nade, and it's going to have to catch a panic factor on somebody. Well, it's going to be a battle of patience here. Production, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that 3 teams I'm seeing on the map there, or is it 2 teams? Is there a member of Team 17 there as well? Oh my gosh. I thought they had eliminated Team 17, but there he is. Is that it's got to be BE's James hanging on the outskirts. This is going to change up the game. Once one of these teams is down, I hope to see James just swarm in on whoever came out victorious and just onslaught them. Well, XRYY doing his best there, but it's going to be Extreme Slayers getting that takedown. But here comes a 4th party, ladies and gentlemen. The Black Mambas slithering through the snow. And we got SPIX M4 in hand, aimed outward at Extreme Slayers. And this is a tough one. Extreme Slayers outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned, and just living in the snake pit here. Papi Triste holding that off angle with an M4 of his own. This is going to be, this is trouble. This is trouble in full swing here. I would not want to be Extreme Slayers right now. It's the only potential hope, the only potential saving grace would have to be if the Black Mambas get a third party from the threat behind them in, I guess that would be YKG. If YKG comes in, that'll be their saving grace. But for now, Ka is up and stuck against a rock and a hard place. And that hard place is the Black Mambas. That rock is just a rock. All right. This is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen. YKG is going to come catch them at the off angle. If they can surprise them, it could be a real tough call here for Black Mamba. But let's keep in mind, Black Mamba's got, a full team on their hands. They are still a full 4-piece. They could pull it off, especially considering that YKG is only a 2-piece at this stage. Well, Utilities are being cooked right now. Nade's being cooked Martha Stewart style. Don't overcook it. Skipper throwing one out there, not quite hitting the mark. Papi Triste cooking up one of his own from a different angle, and it looks like his might hit the mark. It does not. However, Danny is already weakened. So is Skipper, and no time wasted as Satan coming in, cooking up some utilities of his own before resorting to that DBS. Boy, we are seeing a trend here today, ladies and gentlemen, in these CQCs. That DBS is popular. Well, Danny going to try to make it rain a little hellfire. Almost, but no cigar. Tries to account for that little bit of off angle, but while he holds this position, if Skipper can catch the off angle and catch Satan underwears, it might help even the odds. Satan doesn't seem to be allowing or affording any sort of luxury there. He is holding that cliff edge, hoping that Skipper tries something. Black Mamba is playing this pretty darn well, all things considered. They have the number advantage, they've got the placement advantage, and they've got the split. I mean, they've got an off angle holder here. They've got that coin in their back pocket. Even if this 3-piece is taken out, they still have one last trick in their back pocket to get some placement points. Let's take it a step further, ladies and gentlemen. If Bishop and his close-up teammate can just take the focus, then Satan could, by all means, technically catch that off angle and just, boom, bring down YKG down to a 1-piece, and from there, get aggressive as all get out. Let's see if they're going to do it. I think that's exactly what's going to happen here. Rather than the off angle holder taking the attention, the 3-piece is, and yes, indeedly do. Skipper will skip no more. He skipped right into a DBS, but the odds are even. Bishop of Black Mamba's taken down, but Skipper is sent to the lobby. It's going to leave it all reliant on Danny, and Danny alone with an M4 DBS combo here. But he has got 3 members. He's got a snake pit with 3 snakes in it, and boy, it's going to be a tough one. Outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned. What's he going to do here? What's the right call? There's not going to be much option for backing down or trying to rotate into zone. Too open of a space. Here's his saving grace right here and now in the form of Extreme Slayers. They got the 3rd and 4th party on them earlier, and now they're going to return the favor for it onto Black Mamba as Cog catching the off angle. And keep in mind, even as a 2-piece, they have 9 of the team's 11 kills between them. You can't rule them out. Mezexis, a great focal point of the first 2 matches. We got Inactive with a 3x M4 trying to catch a line of sight on either the Black Mambas or Extreme Slayers. He's not picky. He's not prejudiced. He doesn't mind, but boy, instead, he swallows bullets himself. And that's going to leave it on a 3-piece for the remainder of Mezexis. But boy, Everest, if Everest is going to shine in any place, it's going to be the snow map. And boy, oh boy, Everest keeping the pressure on the Black Mambas, who are even more weakened right now as another member is taken down. Speaking of weakened, Extreme Slayers losing another member, leaving it down to either Robert or Papi Triste. I couldn't see which, but boy, that's going to be a tough one if you are them. And maybe if they do have that vehicle, I think I saw a vehicle there, maybe it's worth trying. Probably a risky evacuation route, but what are your other options? Looks like he may have tried it, but it is not going to pan out too well. Ladies and gentlemen, we're down to our final 2 teams now. It's going to be a 3-piece of Mezexis, hungry for blood, up against a solo in Passion Fruit. Zuko is all that separates them from the chicken dinner. And boy, outnumbered, outmanned, outgunned. Doesn't really matter how well you play it when you're already weakened and up against a full 4-piece of Mezexis. Give it up to them. They didn't lose a single member in the process. Now, I could be wrong here. It's a little bit blurry for me, but I believe that says 4 kills at the top. So I think Mezexis getting the mark with 11 kills. Yes, it does render in now. Mezexis, a 1st place gold medal chicken on the tip of their tongue finish, and doing so in shining colors with 11 kills. Another high placing finish for the boys in Passion Fruit here, as Zuko does survive long enough and puts up a couple kills for them to take that silver medal, second place finish, and you gave them 2 kills to add to it as well. Third place, bronze medal, gonna go to the Extreme Slayers. Give it up to them. Honestly, they were reduced down to a 2-piece fairly early on and were being swarmed upon by third party, fourth party, and still managed to make it all the way to in-game and return the favor with a third party of their own. So give it up to them. Bronze medal, third place finish, and doing so with a very healthy 11 eliminations to boast as well. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's 3 matches out of the way, but we still have 1 map ahead. One bit of geography we haven't gotten into. Let's play the guessing game. We've gotten through Erangel. We got through the lush condensed rainforest of Sandhawk, and now the snowy plains of Akindi. That's going to leave one place, and one place only, the dry, arid, open region of Miramar, as we return for our 4th and our final round of AMG's Titan Series Premier Scrims in just a few short moments. Stick around. We'll be back soon. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are back. We are back with our fourth and final match of today's Titan Series Premier Scrims. But first and foremost, let's get into the scores overall as they currently stand. So we got Mizexis literally only 1 point ahead from the Panthers, just one hair ahead. 41 points in gold medal first place position, but at their heels, those Panthers are thirsting for blood. 9 points behind in bronze medal third place. We got the Extreme Slayers after such a great performance as a two-piece in that last match. They carrying on as half their team, really shining. YKG only 3 points behind in fourth. We got the Mamba slithering into fifth at 22, only 1 point ahead of the Passion Fruit with 21. Boy, and wow, it's actually a pretty close match here between fifth and eighth place, only separated by 2 points, as one of Vigilantes holds eighth, tied with Execute at 20 points. But, ladies and gentlemen, we are kicking things off and finishing the night with that dry, open, arid desert of Miramar, which means a couple things for us. What is special about this map? It's going to be the largest map that we're working with. Now, technically, yes, I know you sticklers out there are going to say Erangel is also an 8x8, but that includes a huge portion of Erangel's bodies of water. So realistically, this is the most ground to cover map, meaning that the odds of two teams landing next to each other is going to be a bit slimmer. But as we know to be the case, it's also the most open map in the game. So the odds of you being sniped from 300 meters is just exponentially higher. You got to be aware of not just your immediate surroundings, but your distant surroundings as well. And the third and final thing I want to say about a map like Miramar is that it is so large that it finds itself almost entirely reliant upon the flight path to determine what sort of early game we end up getting. And this is actually a pretty opportunistic one, despite how it looks, ladies and gentlemen. While it looks to be an Eastern-oriented zone, that's not a bad thing, because there's a route from Campo Militar all the way down to the Los Higos region that strings you between two channels of cities and compounds. And this flight path almost runs perpendicular to that. So lots of drop options for the participants. And already we can see a potential early game altercation at El Azahar between the likes of Mizexis and the opposition and Extreme Slayers. Two very high placing teams, ladies and gentlemen. This altercation, if they do it, if those two teams fight, it could have some pretty big impact on the overall standings. And here we see it. Is this going to turn into a feast for crows? As Mizexis Crow sitting ready and waiting with that newly buffed VSS with a faster firing rate, but no extended mag. Ooh, this is out of desperation and necessity, more so than preference, any way you look at it. Crow trying to hold the off angle. Everest not faring much better with only a Winchester. Scratch that. He's got himself a TOMMY, that Tommy SMG. No extended either, but 30 bullet spray is much better in a CQC than a Winchester. We got Baby Bray holding ground here with a Uzi in hand, not trying to give any easy peeks out there for Everest or Baton. As I say that, well, excuse focusing in on Black Mamba off in the distance. K19 going after BE as well. We got a lot of early game altercations, despite what I had said in my early map description. While it is least likely to happen on Miramar, hey, the only thing predictable in PUBG is the unpredictability. And we can see Baby Bray and Adunia creeping on the crows, and boy, that off angle was executed perfectly. Baby Bray letting Ka take the majority of that focus point and coming out, guns a-blazing to finish off the scraps of what was left. Now, that's going to put Mizexis in a bit of a hankering position here, because they are a little bit spread out. Could be advantageous for them, could be disadvantageous. Kind of just depends. Given the way that Extreme Slayers is utilizing this 2-1-1 split, though, I think it's going to be disadvantageous for the likes of Inactive. This Baby Break comes in with a teammate, but the BBS! Oh my goodness, a thunderstorm, a rainstorm of bullets just onslaughting the opponent. One spray to get him down, and then barely surviving as well. Caster Curse, take him down as well. That is going to put a real hurting down. Everest coming in to try to assist his teammates here. Keep in mind, they are coming in as just a three-piece. So we might have ourselves a fair fight on our hands. Hayuya and Robert GG. Wait, are they just a two-piece at this point? They are. So the number is in favor here for Mezexis, kind of making me wonder what the hesitation is. This is where you got to use those numbers to your advantage and just add that panic factor onto them. But Hayuya holding ground, trying to creep any sort of suspicion, any sort of line of sight on the opposition, any scouting info he can get to relay over to Robert GG would be helpful. And speaking of scouting, we got Everest, as we speak, pulling an off angle. It looks like Robert has a little bit of the same thing on the mind. All the while, Super Lazy Reflex facing off against Olympia Esports in the distance and suffering a hit early on. Hayuya, very patient here. Honestly, if you are a two-piece, in a situation like this, early game, stage 1, do you take the fight on or do you back out? Because realistically, they have enough compounds here to probably weasel their way out without taking too many bullets. I think, yeah, they could. I think that's what they're going to do. And truthfully, on personal opinion alone, I think that's the right call, especially considering how well they played in the previous match. You know, you don't want to undo all the progress you've made, even if it is a practice scrim. You're sending messages to the people you're going to be playing with all season. So may as well take it seriously. Well, the Eagle has been shot down, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to be Sarah taking a tough hit, but that still leaves Buffalo, Bang, and 0312 remaining. So Golden Eagle is going to carry on as a three-piece. Probably not going to be too eager to avenge their fallen teammate at this point, given the distance, but we could see. Oh, there it is. Robert GG gets batoned in the face by Baton himself. And that is going to definitely put a little bit more complication to that altercation. All the while, Excuse holding position against the slithering sand snakes in Black Mamba. We got SPIX holding ground. I don't like this this standoff here very much, and here's why. Because with both teams having so much compound cover, I really don't see a lot of thirsts on the table, meaning that if Bishop is knocked right here, yeah, you can knock him if he peeks, but you're not going to be able to secure any sort of thirst without the best aimed grenade of all time. And so realistically, is that fight worth taking on? Same case can be said vice versa. Bishop, say he gets, Draco or Matt stands up, he'll get a return knock potentially. But as soon as they're knocked, they're out of the line of sight. So you're going to be damaging them, hurting their armor. They're going to be hurting your armor. Y'all are both using up your ammo resources. Is that worth it in stage 1? Personally, I don't think so. But that always is going to vary on a case-by-case basis. And, hey, I'm not a tier 1 player, but the Black Mambas are, and they're weighing their options and saying, yeah, it's worth it. And I do give them credit, because if there was ever a team to use the BOA method, I would want it to be a team that's named after a snake. In this 2-1 split that they have on Excuse, it's a real opportunity for, I believe it was Satan, to take the attention off of his two teammates, get the focal point on him. And the second Draco stands up or gives any sliver of himself, that's when that two-piece will climb on him. But no time to talk about that. The fruit has fallen from the tree, but it's still relying upon battling Dark 24K in this altercation as the fruit up against K19. And Valak getting a little too ahead of himself, coming in guns a-blazing, but taking the hit instead, leaving everything reliant on Dark 24K, and he does pull it off. And boy, oh boy, guys, K19 did not get a single thirst on Passion Fruit. Caster cursed right there and then. Every bit of hype about what I just said has been undone. As I was gonna say, Passion Fruit gonna carry on as a full piece, but the Eagles in perfect form with a third party from hell striking from atop the hill. The beautiful Overwatch position. It was just a waiting game for them, and they were patient. And the patience paid off. Well, now the Eagles reorienting their attention to the two-piece and execute. Well, I take that back. It's a full 4-piece, but a very, very spread out 4-piece here as Telly holding this hill edge here. Great example of Miramar, because Miramar is one of the, as I said, the most open map. The odds of you being sniped from a distance highest on this map. So that's really where it comes down to. When you have that much open ground and compound cover can become few and far between, that's when it really comes down to knowing your geographical advantages. Telly utilizing this hill perfectly, because exactly what I said about the previous altercation, if members of Golden Eagles were to get a knock on Telly from this point, they would have to do an instant rush if they want any shot of securing the kill. So I think, this is a great play on his end, especially considering the positioning that Execute's doing. That spread of a position could catch members of the Eagles unawares. Eagles with a high ground advantage over Passion Fruit, trying to catch a line of sight. I think, the same problem that I've been talking about in the previous two fights could apply to this too. Whether you're a low ground compound holder or the high ground hilltop owner, Passion Fruit and Golden Eagles both have the same kind of conundrum. If they get a knock on Passion Fruit Valak, chances are if he crawls one step over, he's out of their line of sight. And if they knock him on the hill, he's automatically out of the line of sight. Not going to do anything. Well, Bope squaring across against the zombie boys. But you can't kill a zombie. Nitro is about to potentially learn the hard way. He's already dead. Crazy is a little bit crazy right there. Nitro needed to reverse Caster Curse him, and he secures that without taking much damage at all. As I say it, Caster Curse him down to half health, and he's still dishing out the damage. Boy, oh boy, putting a hurt, and this time onto Julio, taking him down to below half health. All the while presenting a real opportunity for Emmerboy to catch this off angle. But context is everything, ladies and gentlemen. In those brief moments that I was talking, Crazy and Julio have been knocked, leaving Emmerboy now as the solo, and he's got two members of Bope right on him, stuck in between a peanut butter and trouble sandwich. He's the deli meat, because on the other side is Black Mamba. For that reason, I think he's making the right call here, getting in the vehicle, dipping out of dodge, and trying to secure some placement points for the team. All right, well, that's going to leave another concentration towards the center outside Picado. It's going to be up against the lights of the Panthers. Boy, and Execute v. Execute members. The crime, you hate to see it. X on X. And Fate dealing out the dose of Fate right there and then. And now, real attention over to Peekaboo. Boy. Peekaboo, now the final hope for the Panthers. The last cat on the hill, cooking up a nade, trying to get anything he can to even the odds. One lucky grenade kill. Give him anything. Well, nope. It's quite the opposite, as nades fall on him. Fate with the high ground, just boom, boom, and with a mini 14, single tapping a finish right there and then. Fate, not really a lot of can be said bad about him right now. He's responsible for all 5 of the team's kills. He's got blood on the tip of his tongue, and he is hungry for more. So Nitro aiming in at Bishop now, trying to catch a snake in the sand, not getting any connecting damage, but he does have the advantage of this little bit of wall cover and high ground overwatch, giving a real opportunity for his 2 teammates to maybe even pull a split flank rotation around Black Mamba, catch him unawares, and it looks like it's going to be a 2-1 split right now. Maybe they're going to do it. Yes, indeedly do. That does look to be the case, and in full form, wasting no time on the full aggressive push, Hope Esports swarming upon this 2-piece of Black Mamba. Boy, oh boy. Bope, N-A-R-E-G, taken down. We got a 2v3 on our hands. The odds have been even a little bit. SPIX firing 4x UMP 45. Contrary to popular belief, I'm actually in support of it. I think it's a phenomenal close mid-range weapon. I think a 4x on a UMP is deadly. Yeah, the bullets don't dish out a lot of damage, but there's no recoil. All right, well, Bope, with the numbers in their favor, they're a lot can be said here, but if they don't take this, it's going to be in result to a mistake on their end. There's no way it wouldn't be. They are outnumbering, outmanning, and outgunning the opposition here in Black Mamba. It's down to SPIX, who's cooking up some nades. Rather than taking this opportunity to work his way away from the confrontation while they heal up, he's going to take the fight head on. A 1v3 handicap fight, and he just used his last utility. What's it going to be here? Well, give him credit. You know, if one thing is going for him, he's got a UMP combo. He's ready for a close quarter fight, but cutting his tracks before I can finish my point and sent back to lobby. Both now with 6 kills to their name, carrying on as a 3-piece. Execute 5 kills on the board, still a full 4-piece team. Remember what I said in round 1, ladies and gentlemen. Cannot put enough emphasis on being a full 4-piece come in-game. Can be the absolute difference-making variable of life and death. Who's taking home that chicken dinner? It could all rely upon that big bully, big chip stack, number advantage team. And Execute does have that in their favor. Well, the mountain sits on top of a mountain. Everest on the hilltop here. With an eye on Casper, dishing out damage, but not so much. It's not going to be the graphical cover that I was mentioning earlier and doing. Everest gets the knock. It's not going to be a thirst here. So, geographical advantages where they come, Execute doing them perfectly. And great spread here, too. We got Fate pulling the off angle on Inactive here. He has a real chance to catch him unawares. That surprise factor is good for one time and one time only. Once his location is given up, it's out of there. It looks like Casper the Friendly Ghost is going to float on in here to a pool of these Exis Everest members. Okay, Everest is a huge hit, low grounded, and just swarmed upon. That's going to leave, I believe, in a 1v4 handicap fight. And to add insult to injury, Execute is going to enact the boa method, getting an off angle behind him. Inactive is the deli meat in a peanut butter and Scrooge sandwich. And boy, oh boy, oh boy, Execute is the bread. Yep, that indeed is done as Casper turns Inactive into a bowling pin, and he gets himself a strike right there. And then Elegy aiming outwards with an SLR in hand, trying to put a hurting on the claws of Execute, but not really dishing out much. Not even adding an intimidation factor here. Klaus says casually get to the vehicle and drive away. But boy, give him credit. It's like he heard me saying that, and he says, okay, I'm going to shoot him from a moving vehicle and still dish him down to half health. All right, well, it's not going to be enough. Elegy taking a little bit of retaliatory fire, but not before he gets a little bit of cover behind that compound, gets in the vehicle, and prioritize a rotation away from this altercation into zone. I swear he hears me talking, because he knows what I'm saying and just undid it. XCZ reuniting with his teammate here, trying to help even the odds a little bit up against this game. Dishing out the damage, following the bullets, brought down to literally 10% of his overall health with nothing but a few bandages and a first aid. And can't first aid from a moving vehicle, ladies and gentlemen, so he's got to stop here, collect himself, and try to heal up. That Fate in charge of a little bit of overwatch and cover fire. He's doing so right here now. 3x M4 aimed out. SLR reordering his attention to the looming threat behind him and Black Mamba, or pardon me, Passion Fruit. Well, well, well. This is an Execute the likes of which I have not seen in some time. This is a fully aggressive, fully confident Execute. 10 kills to their name, 6 on the back of Fate alone. And if you remember last time, I believe last time we had a look at their kill count, Fate had 5 kills in the previous match, or it may have been round 1, but either way, heavy backpacking for eliminations for the team. And the team is in full form, carrying on full 4-piece, spreading out just to show how they're confident they are, riding that momentum factor. Well, It's going to take a little bit of confidence for members of Vigilantes to come back from this low ground disadvantage against Bope Esports. We got Nicro holding the high ground here. Again, I withdraw that statement. Fishy had a higher ground even than him. But Nareg utilizing the geographical cover, trying to wait for Kovu or XRYY to present themselves any sort of sliver to capitalize on, and no such advantage is being given. Kovu does see Nareg just for a brief moment, but the second he calibrates his aim, Nareg's out of the line of sight. Bope not giving any easy claps to their opponents in the win of Vigilantes, but WV, what are they going to do? They're going to aggressively push an individual, every man for himself vehicle approach. They're going to swarm on this two-piece, and they do have the numbers in their favor, I believe. I withdraw that. It's going to be a 3-3. A fair fight. Especially give credit to Bope on this one. They're doing a 2-1 split here with Roa holding an off angle. This is a real opportunity. Pardon me, not Roa holding the off angle. It's going to be Nicro holding the off angle. A real opportunity to distract WV, make him focus on Nareg or Roa, and let Nicro do what he does from that off angle. Catch that surprise factor, add the panic. Pull it off. Well, if there's one dad joke right in front of our eyes, it's that, you know, a fish in the desert. Obviously, Fishy's going to take some damage after I say that. Nareg swallowing bullets in retaliation, but not enough to take him down. So he's going to go ahead, utilize this opportunity to heal up, further simplifying the geographical advantage. All he had to do was go prone. Illusion with some utilities, going to try to get a quick takedown on Roa, but even with the health advantage, Roa is taking him out of the equation. Brought down to below half health, and now in a situation where he has Overwatch over 3 remaining members of one of Vigilantes. Great opportunity for his teammates to catch that off angle, especially considering the high ground angle that they hold. Be able to see. Well, a couple warning shots firing outwards at XRYY. Not a lot of damage, but enough to keep Rye on the tip of his toes here. Ooh, a bait smoke here. You don't see these often, but a smoke trying to lure them out. Either that someone's in it or make them think it's a nade, but either way, it's a trap, and one of Vigilantes does not take the bait. Boy, Fish does not take the bait. He has not bit the hook. Dad jokes in full form. Ooh, I'm cringing myself. Telly going after the Golden Eagles. Execute up against the Eagles. And it looks like Buffalo going to fall down as well. Here and now, though, Olympia going to weigh their options. Are they going to flank rotate into the likes of Bope Esports? Are they going to prioritize a rotation into zone? It looks to be the latter. And here we have them working their way in. Give credit to Execute. Already getting the prime real estate in this new zone here with a nice high ground Overwatch position. One of Vigilantes, not a bad spot for them either. They got a little bit of some walls of defense there. Nicro, on the other hand, not really a lot to be said in terms of an advantage here. He's and oof, boy, dishing out damage to Execute, and Execute living up to their name and dishing it right on back, reducing it down to Nareg and Roa. As a two-piece, what is going to be the move here? Nareg holding ground here, stuck in between 2 different teams, firing up with M4 in hand, and still just an onslaught of bullets from Fate. Fate is just really in full-on gladiator mode. He is in no regards for defense, all regards for aggression, coming out guns blazing and doing so beautifully. Look at this. Execute. 17 kills on the board, and now one of 2 teams remaining. It's going to be one of Vigilantes versus them, and look at the count. It's a 4v2. Everything in favor of Execute. This is a full form, fully confident, full momentum Execute team. And you can bet that that intimidation factor has worked its way onto one of Vigilante's. Fishy and XRYY very hesitant to move, but XRYY with a potential advantage of potential hope that you can't pass up. Catching that off angle on Telly and Claus, getting the surprise, but it's not enough. And the numbers work in Execute's favor, ladies and gentlemen. Full form. What did Execute do wrong there? Nothing. Absolutely phenomenal performance on their end, and utilizing the numbers to their favor, and then wasting no time. As soon as that panic factor set in, they swarmed upon the opponent all at once and just onslaught, bloodbath warfare, CQC mayhem. It's what I love to see. Production, do you mind hitting click so I can see those scores? All right, nice. Well, gosh, that is not just a gold medal first place finish for Execute, but doing so with, count them up, ladies and gentlemen, 20 kills on the board. That is literally 25% of the playing field suffered at the loss of Execute's hands. And one of Vigilante's take the opposite end of the spectrum here, a completely different approach that paid out for them pretty well as well. They did the slow play. They said this is a marathon, not a sprint, and we are not going to be out looking for that early game confrontation. We're out to get some placement, and they did so, and did so well. They got the second place silver medal finish, but with only one kill to speak of at the hands of Fishy. Boy, those elimination points are going to be an important variable here. All right, but hey, ain't nothing wrong with bronze, as Bope secures their way into third place with 7 kills, 6 of which between Nicro and Roa. All right. Well, we got fourth place going to the Eagles. SLR shooting their way into fifth. The Passion Fruit falling from the tree into sixth place. We got Mizexis in seventh. Eighth place, slithering into it, Black Mamba. We got the Zombie Boys dying in ninth. In 11th with 1 kill, 2 kills, 11th place. Excuse in 12th. 13th is going to belong to K19, the Extreme Slayers, Moderate Slayers in the 4th round, as they get 14th, and 15th is going to go to the likes of BE, but with a big fat onion, 0 kills to speak of. Wow. This was intense, ladies and gentlemen. There is just something to be said about top tier professional gameplay. It's on another level than the tier 2 to tier 3 open scrim, skill gap. I mean, I hate to say it, but it is undeniable. There is just a notable difference in skill level there, and it was in full swing today. But we have got some scores to go over as they overall stand. It looks like, after everything is said and done, ladies and gentlemen, Execute have pulled it off. They are going to take that gold medal first place finish home for the day, 4 points ahead of silver medal second place holder Mizexis. It was a close one. Mizexis was just at their heels, and honestly, if it weren't for Execute putting down such an onslaught thunderstorm of bullets upon the playing field and getting those 20 kills, this would have been a Mizexis win. It would have been a Mizexis chicken dinner for the overall event. And that's even if Execute had won that with even 5 kills less, it would have been a Mizexis finish. But boy, oh boy, going to emphasize the new scoring structure and how important it is to play accordingly. Execute just all out bloodbath warfare. Hey, the Panthers in third place, 5 points behind Mizexis. It was a close top 3, any way you look at it. Only 9 points separating first from third. Extreme Slayers in fourth with 32. We got YKG. This is kind of a role reversal, if anything. We can see YKG, the team that I associate with the Berserker strat, the all confident, aggressive, always, every man as a team, every man for himself, aggressive. YKG does not usually change it up, but here today you can see him trying a couple new things out, playing a slower game, and I don't know if it paid out as they were hoping, but either way, they're taking 5th with 28 points. The Mamba is going to tie that at 28 points in 6th place. But look at this, guys. Same could be said between 7th and 8th. Wanted Vigilantes and Passion Fruit, both neck and neck, 27 points each. 9th place going to Bope Esports, only 2 points ahead of, pardon me, is that a 13? That's a 13. Only 4 points ahead of K19, who ties in points with Excuse at 11th. SLR, maybe a little bit too much of the lazy in the name right now, because 12th place with 10 points is not the SLR I'm used to, but that's where they finish here. 13th place going to BE, 9 points to their name. The Eagles having a tough day, all things considered. Not a lot of points on the board there. Taking 14th with 8 overall. Olympia in 15th with 6. And lastly, the Zombies playing a little bit dead in the water today. 5 points to their name. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that's all right, cool. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to conclude today's portion of the Titan Series Premier Scrims, but absolute mayhem. And AMG is running these all the time. So by all means, guys, if you are not following Aftershock Media Group on all platforms, that's going to be hashtag Titan Series GG. Anything you enter for this, any content you upload, be sure to tag Titan Series GG into it. And that's going to be Instagram.com/@Titan Series GG. Look it up on YouTube, Titan Series GG. Make sure you're supporting it, because it's one of only 2 events that give opportunities like this to the community. So be sure to capitalize on it. Until next time, I'm Red Eyes, and see you around.